Hello. So I had watched a TikTok where the girl, well, not the girl, in China, right? In China, they were doing a study. Okay, they're not doing a study. In order to be a nurse or a caregiver or whatever, you had to carry around this like armor or like this chest thing, like not a chest thing, it's a whole freaking body. It's like you're all strapped up, and what it does is it limits your movement. It makes your body ache. I think it even taps into your neurological, like your nervous system, where you can actually feel pain and aches. And you have to walk upstairs, you have to walk around, you have to do all this and that, like normal life stuff, like what an elderly person will do that we take advantage of, or we can still walk around without pain. Although I am getting some aches and pains here and there. But anyways, so the reason that they're doing this is so you can then feel and understand what it's like for that elderly person, in order for you to then become and have more patience towards the elderly person you're assisting, instead of, like, to in an attempt to try to decrease the amount of like abuse in elderly care and elderly homes and stuff. So anyways, I found that pretty interesting. And the reason why is because it's basically like they're making you feel and be put in someone else's shoes, so then you can be more sympathetic or more patient with the person while you're working with them. And so that's pretty interesting to me, because most everyone, like, no one's been in my shoes, no one's walked in my shoes, so no one can know what I've been through, and on and on and on, right? So when someone does have, let's say I wrote a biography of my life, right? You're going to have more of an understanding of who I was, where I came from, what made me, and how I am here today, right? And then you'll have understanding and compassion towards me. But when you meet a Joe Schmo off the side of the road and you see them, it's because I was looking at drug addicts, and my heart goes out for them, and it's just so sad. And, I know people make fun of them, and I know people, of course, they chose it. They decided to do the drug. And of course, but at some point it's taken over them. They are our like zombies of the day, right? And like, who would want to walk in their shoes? I wouldn't, But what I'm just trying to say is, it made me think of, like, when you have a drug addict member in your family, or you have ever experienced that, you see them struggle and you see them want to stop. Yeah, they started, and yeah, not enable, I'm sorry, the wrong word. They use it as a clutch, they use it as an excuse sometimes. But what I'm trying to say is, we haven't walked in their shoes. We don't know what it's like for the addict to stop. We don't know what it's like to kick it if it's that strong, and I'm talking about, all addictions. That people have food addictions, people have tons and tons of addictions, but I'm just talking about in general. None of us can talk about another soul because why? We've never walked in their shoes, and if we had that understanding, maybe we could have some more compassion towards somebody. And maybe if we had even a loved one, you could have more compassion towards them, because you can understand maybe. And even you can still have anger and hurt and whatever, but addiction is real, and addiction is hard to stop. And I have seen that, I have witnessed it, and I've experienced it in food. When I stopped eating meat, that was the most difficult time in my life, to stop eating meat. Now, this was 11 years ago or 12 years ago, but I stopped, and I changed my whole life. I changed my whole well-being. And now I'm trying to change back into eating meat, which is difficult. It's weird. It's kind of like, some things have been great. Like, I love bacon and the shredded meat that I make. I love that. I was able to finally eat tamales, and that was amazing. I still don't dig. I actually make good menudo, but I still don't dig. I make menudo that doesn't have the pancitas and stuff. I still don't dig that. That kind of just grosses me out with the patas, if you put it in there or not, whatever. But it just doesn't, that I can't do still. But there's certain things that I have that just get to me. But anyways, what I'm trying to say is that TikTok video made me think of when I was driving home and I saw these people on the bus stop that were one of them was doing drugs and one of them was all bent over, and it's just so sad. It just breaks my heart because, you know, whatever reason they had that made them turn to the first drug use ever that got them addicted is what makes me sad. And what makes me even sadder is that if the person was sober and they were watching themselves, they wouldn't want that. But it's that they can't stop. I don't know. It's literally a disease. But anyways, I just wanted to share that. And I kind of thought of it as pretty interesting that in China, that's what they're making these workers do, to be more sympathetic to the people that they're assisting. And I really think that it's just a really good way to, you know, live life in general, you know. But anyways, my thoughts. Have a good night.